Here's why Elon Musk blew up his rockets. So with SpaceX, he had a couple different rockets. One was the Falcon 1, and then he had the Falcon 9, and then now he has the Starship. Keep in mind, these are all really successful rockets in their own right. The Falcon 1, after 3 sequential failures, the 4th launch, it worked. They launched it into space, and they were able to bring it back to Earth. As far as I understand from what I've seen, hasn't happened before. And so, huge success. But for him to achieve his vision, the Falcon 1, he knew wasn't enough. And so, he moved on to the unproven model of the Falcon 9. When they launched this one, it was by far the most successful rocket in human history. And despite its success, it still wasn't able to fulfill the vision that he was looking for. And he's like, you know what? We're gonna have to scrap this again. And so now the focus is on the Starship. So the mission for SpaceX is to put people on Mars. But the overall vision is to make humanity a multi-planetary species. So if you think about that, what's ultimately important is the vision that you have. And that's the core thing, because if you don't have a vision or a mission that's driving you, you're not going to be clear on where you're trying to go at the end of the day. So even though they had success with Falcon 1, it was like, okay, this is nice, this is working, but we have a mission to fulfill, and so we need to go to the next level. Okay, boom, Falcon 9, most successful rocket and way more powerful, and still it wasn't enough because it didn't meet the criteria for the mission. Before we continue on, if you like stuff like this around business and marketing, you can subscribe to the newsletter, Leveling Up, and you'll find a lot of stuff around business and marketing, great stories, great tactics, great strategies to help you grow your business faster. So let's continue on over here. The point I'm getting at also is, when you think about one of the basketball coaches out there in general, Coach K, he said that the biggest difference between the average players versus the great players is one thing. It's that the average players continue to look at the last play. They dwell on the past. They think about what happened. I missed that shot. I committed a foul over here, and now that's on my mind. And what happens when you think about the past all the time is that it's kind of depressing, right? So some people say that the past is where you find depression. The future is where you find anxiety, but it's the present where you are the most grounded. Now, the great players, they're constantly looking at the next thing, the next play, the next play, the next play, meaning that they have a memory of a goldfish. They forget about what happened and they move on to the next play. By doing that, you're able to continually look ahead. You're just not going to let your mind get ruined by all the bad things or all the good things that might have happened. And I think when you think about your mission, your vision, it's honestly something that can be refined over time, and you don't need to necessarily get it right off the bat. Sometimes it might shift a little bit. Information might change. You don't want to be moving your goalposts all the time, but a mission like getting to Mars. Okay, so once SpaceX gets to Mars, do you think their mission is going to continue to be to get to Mars? No, they've already done that. So they might have to upgrade their goalposts a little more. And so think about what your mission is, think about what your purpose is, yourself and also for your company. And it's going to simplify decision making, where just because someone says something in your company or someone says something outside, or maybe your spouse tells you something, you understand that, hey, this is what you've been doing for a while, and this was the mission from the get-go, and that's not going to change just because someone else said something else. It sets the guardrails for you to build something for the long term, because if you don't have any mission, that means you don't stand for anything, and that means you also fall for anything as well. So for example, my personal mission is to empower entrepreneurs to build businesses that have a positive impact. And so that's just very easy to understand. It's very clear to me. Like, what is it that you're trying to do? Why do you work all the time, Eric? Why are you working on business? Why are you doing this? Why are you doing the podcast over here? Well, that's my mission. And what is the mission behind Single Rate? Why are you doing Single Rate? Well, it's to do innovative marketing. It's to make sure that we're constantly pushing the pace. We're pushing the envelope as well. And that's how we're going to get better. That's what we want to be known for. And hopefully people can learn a thing or two. And if you think about the things that I do under my umbrella, so there's the ad agency Single Grain, there's the marketing school podcast. I just love learning. I love teaching. And that falls under the entire mission for me personally of being able to empower other entrepreneurs. The agency does that. The events do that. The podcasts do that. Me speaking at things does that as well. And me creating this piece of content for you does that as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button as well. And we'll catch you later.